Got my mustache going, boy. What's up, my dudes? We got the 2018, got myself a little confused there. 2018 YZ450F bike review on MX Simulator. This was made by a dude named MX, god damn it, I can't remember the number. MX285, MX295, something like that on the forums. Sorry, I couldn't remember the exact numbers there. I think they're 985. It's one of those shit. So, yeah, I wanted to come in here and check this out right here. So, with the actual Yamahas, I know they've been a little bit weird here recently with the... basically, they like in 2018, they came out with a brand new front fender style, but I'm pretty sure it was only on the 450s, which is really bizarre because I first thought that it was only like on the 4-strokes and not the 2-strokes. You guys know Yamaha, only motherfuckers out there still making 2-strokes. Shout out to them for that. But yeah, basically you could tell like instantly that the 2-strokes 2018 125 and 250 2-strokes still had the old school fenders, which like came into the scene at like 2009 or 10, back when James Stewart, when he was like coming back into it. Like right in that 2008, 9, 10, James Stewart went from that old fender style to the new Yamaha fender style, like that 2010. You guys know that Yamaha fender style that it has been for a while, and then it's been that way all the way through when James Stewart was on JGR and all that Yamaha. It was that way. Cooper Webb when he was on a 250 Yamaha, it was that way. Plessinger, when he was on 250 Yamahas, that way. But it's just been 2018 this year. They went in there and kind of started changing that front fender on it. But for 2018, even the 250S, if I'm not mistaken, still had that older fender. So the only thing that had a new front fender was the 450s, which is really weird how they did that. But personally, I enjoyed the fender before this one better than this one. But just because I love that Yamaha, that was the real Yamaha fender that was like the hip new thing when I got into it. So I'm sure there's some biased nature going on here with it. Whereas this new one, it hasn't really grown on me yet, like that 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 era Yamaha fender was. So either way, it's cool to see it in MX Simulator, brand new 2018 450 only, like, really specific kind of fender, but you can get it in MX Simulator. So very, very cool. I will leave a link down below in the description if you guys want to go download that. I'll just leave the dude's, his post on the forum, the link to that there. So yeah, looks nice, man, no doubt. Love to get back into these bike reviews here. It's crazy to me that people don't do this more than they do on YouTube. I can't believe it. Like, I absolutely cannot believe that they don't do that more. Everybody and their grandmother does a track review, but no one really comes on here and does like bike reviews or gear reviews. It's very rare, very few and far between that you see that kind of stuff. So basically that newer front fender, to me personally, and this is going to sound kind of funny because, Spencer Turley equals Galaxy kind of dudeski here, but it seems a little bit more alien to me, almost like more advanced, just the way that they've made that certain 2018 450 front fender. It's weird. It's like it's more complex than the fender that they had before, and even the back of the fender is got it's like the edges are a little sharper. There's like an actual, you see those 3 little spots right there, they're real hardcore edges on the fender. They're like sharp edges. It just seems like a lot more of like an alien spaceship or something, It's like way more modern. It's getting away from the smooth edges, getting a lot more of those like hardcore triangled out fender type of design to it, and that's how you see quite a few of the other fenders going. It's funny because like the Yamahas back in 2003 and 4 and stuff like that, they were pretty much perfectly smooth. I mean, I think they did have a little bit of like a fender down crease thing. What was that one year where those old school Kawasaki fenders, they were literally like a square fender. That was it. There was no cuts down in the fender at all. Nothing. So they've slowly advanced that little by little over time, and it's pretty cool to see that. But yeah, so like they kind of went to where they started making a little bit bigger rough edges on the fenders, but they were still a little smooth. Now they're getting like straight up hardcore. Even on the newer Suzuki fenders, kind of remind me of this too, where it's just got those real hardcore edges to the fender. You know, it's more like super, almost so aggressive, like I'm saying, that it looks kind of alien. It looks kind of like, whoa, that's a lot there. And that's what I thought about it from day one. But yeah, this dude definitely captures that whole feeling on the bike for sure. I mean, you can definitely see as soon as you get on this bike, it feels like a completely different front fender model than what we have had in MX Simulator with the previous Yamaha front fender. So it's interesting. I don't know what they're going to do in the future, if they're going to eventually, like, basically, you know, make the two-strokes this fender, make the 250F this fender. I'm not really sure what they're doing in 2019. They may already have the 2019 YZ450F with this front fender. That's definitely possible, but it's just one of those personal preference things. I just enjoyed that that fender before this one. And technically, my first real race bike I ever had was a 2004 125. Sorry, I've had so many bikes over the years, it's crazy. But the first real race bike was a 2004 125, and that had the old school like 2003-4 Chad Reed Yamaha type of front fender to it. So, you know, I love that kind of fender design. I thought it was really cool, but there is just something about that 2010 through 17 era front fender, you know, what the 2018 YZ 2-strokes and 250F is. There's something about that fender. I don't know. It just looks so good to me. Like, the way that the fender kind of pinpoints down, you got this perfect little thing going right down the middle of the fender, so you can tell directly where the middle of the fender is. It's almost like a bit of a guideline kind of thing on the fender. It's really cool. I just like the overall aesthetic of that other fender better. But this is not a you know, old school fender versus new fender video here, like it might seem like it is. I'm just reviewing this fender for how this dude made it in the game, basically. By the way, this is my custom track Cahuega. If you guys wondering what the hell is that track, it's on my front page on my custom tracks. You can find it on there, and there will be a download link to it there. So yeah, let's see. So basically, it's pretty much got everything pretty solid on it. The reason why it doesn't have the blue rims is because with MX Simulator, you can actually pick different wheels and rims separately from the bike skin and the bike model. So I just standardly had it on black. Sorry about that. I know it's kind of not like genuine there, but I always run the black rims in MX Simulator. So that's just what I had on it. But theoretically, you know, this dude doesn't actually make the rims. He's just making the bike part of it. You know, the rims and the wheels are something totally separate than that. So, but yeah, man, as far as all the little plastic pieces and all that, it's looking pretty accurate, dude. It's that, the big thing I look at is there's, in MX Simulator, there's actually two different of the 2010 through 17 front Yamaha fenders in the game. There's two different kind of styles that they're made, 2 or 3 different styles. There's the old school, I think it's like DJ something made it way back in the day. You guys know I've ran that a little bit. There's the one that's got like the DNA shred sticks, Yamaha, whatever. And that was like some of your like early day MX Simulator stuff with the Yamaha's front model, like basically the first real Yamaha front fender model that came out for MX Simulator. I still think that's the best one in the game. They kind of got into this bit of a newer one, but it looked really bizarre, even though it was trying to be that same 2009, 10 through 17 fender. It was the same fender, but it looked totally different. So don't just think that, oh, everyone's going to just model that certain fender the same in MX Simulator, because it's not necessarily the case. It's not always like that. Some people just don't get it right. They just don't get it like it's supposed to be. Now, I haven't actually rode, you know, a 2018 450 to really know what this looks like in real life, so I can't relate it directly, but just from some of the things I've seen, it seems pretty decent, seems pretty close to it. It definitely gives me the feeling in the game, like, just from what I've seen, it's like, oh, this feels like that new 2018 Yamaha fender. You know, it gives you that feeling, so that's really all it comes down to at the end of the day. You know, as long as they get it close enough to that, then you're going to be pretty solid as far as that goes. But yeah, man, overall thought it was nice. Even all your little engine part pieces, stuff like that. I like that little perp skirp on the pipe going on. Looking good, dog. Obviously the Yamaha, JYTR, Yamalube. I love how they put that on the stock bikes. That's the way my 2016 YZ450F is. It's almost like it has this not like super stock look. It's almost like the stock graphics on the bike kind of has like a bit of the almost like what a pro's graphics would be like Yamaha, GYTR, all the way down the line like that. It's really cool how they do that. It makes it look like a race bike even though it's stock. That's really cool. Definitely, I like the way that looks for sure. So, yeah, I think the 2016 Yamahas had a bit more white coloration up on the front. This looks a little bizarre, almost like there's like too much blue going on here. There's not enough like outlining and stuff. That's not me hating on this dude that made this either. That's me kind of like, that's kind of weird Yamaha that they would do that. I just personally like the way the 16 one looks better as far as that goes, but I do like the way the back fender looks. Got that kind of aggressive, I don't know if you can really see it on YouTube, but it's got a dip in it, bro. Like very aggressive. They're almost getting like Batmobile style, hardcore edges and shit. It's looking crazy, man. That like, what's the next thing they're gonna do with the front fenders, man? It's gonna get to the point where it's like super jagged. Like, are we gonna have spikes going down our front fenders? Like, what the hell is going on, man? It's just that steady advancement over a long period of time, But you could literally cut through a steak with those fender cuts right there. Like, god dang. But yeah, like if that was colored black and I zoomed in all the way in on it, you could actually mistake that for the Batmobile. No joke. 100%, dog. So either way, dude. But all the other little parts, it's got the nice little Yamaha almost engraved kind of look right there. Everything else looking good. Sprockets, chain, all that. I'm sure if you got real particular with it and like had a side-by-side comparison, all this stuff would probably match it really close. It just seems like this dude put the time in on this. So overall, I'm gonna give it a. It's weird. It's bizarre trying to rate. It's just going to take me time of seeing a lot of different bike skins and really going in there doing a lot of bike reviews and gear reviews to really start getting an accurate rating system going. It takes a while. If you guys remember when I first started doing track review videos, it pretty much, basically when I first started doing them, some of my ratings were all over the place. Like, they didn't make any sense, and it's because I hadn't seen enough in the game to really be fully giving you a full-blown accurate rating of something. Whereas nowadays, whenever I go in there and do a track review, I feel like I get it a lot closer to what the actual rating of it would be, which it is all personal at the end of the day. It's just own personal opinion shit. Everybody's got their own favorite thing. So the Spencer Turley's rating of it, you get what I'm saying? Whereas back then, I didn't even know what the hell I was even looking at. So, and that's the way the actual bike review stuff is. Oh, I feel like I got a burp, but I can't. It's just going to take me some time to get to the point where I can give you more accurate reviews and side-by-side comparisons and certain stuff like that. It's going to be a lot more difficult. But either way, yeah, this fender can give you the feeling of like, little bit bizarre, almost like the fender is a little bit on the long side or a little bit narrow, skinny, so it feels a little bit bizarre cornering compared to like some of that 2013 Kawasaki fender and that RMZ Attacker front fender. Those are a little shorter, feel a little bit better turning wise than this one does, just in a first person kind of personal preference glance type of thing. This one can feel a little bizarre, a little weird, but I feel like all of the Yamaha fenders are a little bit like that in MX Simulator. They're all a little bit weird. They're either like too narrow, too long. They give you a bit of a bizarre feeling when you're actually cornering and stuff like that on them in MX Simulator. So either way, I'm going to give this thing I'm going to give it probably like an 8 overall, and I'm going to say in some of the rating is probably going to, some of my own personal preference of just how the fender looks in general. I mean, I'm sure that's going to play into it a little bit. It's not only how good did they replicate the fender, but it's how good does that overall bike look just in general. It's both of those things combined. And I know that the creator of the bike skin can't control that because he's just replicating what it is. Like, if it was just strictly about the replication aspect of it, I would give this thing a a 10 out of 10, you know, but there has to be somewhat of the how good do I think that overall bike looks in general, regardless of what it was to begin with. So, you know what I'm saying? So overall, I'm probably going to give it like a, I'm probably just going to give it like a 7. So either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.